Hello, lifelong learners. Have you ever heard someone say something that made you scratch your head in bewilderment? Most likely, that person just used an idiom. An idiom is like a secret handshake for language. It's a phrase that means something different from the actual words. It's as if words are playing dress-up, pretending to say one thing while really meaning another. Idioms are fascinating linguistic expressions that convey meanings beyond their literal definitions. They exist in every language and often originate from historical events, literature, traditions, and mythology. Some have evolved over centuries, while others have remained largely unchanged. Many idioms date back to ancient civilizations. For example, crossing the Rubicon comes from Julius Caesar's historic decision to cross the Rubicon River in 49 BC, signaling the start of civil war in Rome. Today, it means making an irreversible decision. Another example is "Meet your Waterloo," which comes from the Battle of Waterloo in 1815, where Napoleon Bonaparte was finally defeated. Since then, meeting your Waterloo has meant encountering an ultimate downfall. Many idioms come to us from literature. A bitter pill to swallow comes from the 18th century and was popularized in historical writings. It refers to something difficult to accept, much like swallowing a bitter or unpleasant pill. An idiom popularized by Shakespeare is green-eyed monster, which means jealousy or envy. This phrase comes from Othello, where Iago describes jealousy as a green-eyed monster that doth mock the meat it feeds on. Idioms may also be of biblical origin. The idiom "by the skin of one's teeth" comes from Job 19:20, where Job describes his suffering. "I am escaped with the skin of my teeth." Since teeth don't have skin, the phrase poetically means "I barely made it out." Another idiom of biblical origins is "a thorn in the flesh," from 2 Corinthians 12:7, where the Apostle Paul writes about a thorn in the flesh, given to him to keep him humble. Today, it describes an ongoing difficulty or nuisance. Mythology is another source of idioms. The idiom Achilles' heel comes from Greek mythology, specifically the story of Achilles, the Trojan war hero. Thetis, Achilles' mother, dipped him in the river Styx to grant him invulnerability. However, she held him by his heel, leaving that spot unprotected, which later became known as his Achilles' heel. This has become a modern metaphor for someone's single point of weakness. The idiom Herculean task comes from the myth of Hercules and his 12 labors. One of these included cleaning the Augean stables, which were filled with years of filth from thousands of cattle. Hercules had to clean them in a single day, which he did by rerouting rivers to wash out the muck. Today, a Herculean task means any overwhelming challenge. Idioms reflect the values and experiences of a culture. Some expressions exist across languages with different imagery. In English, we say "to be in the same boat," and it has the same literal translation in Spanish and Italian. The French translation states it as "to be in the same dough," and in Russian it's "in the same harness." Different words, same meaning, being in a similar situation. The idiom "it's raining cats and dogs," referring to heavy torrential rain, has unique equivalents in other languages. Spanish, "it's raining pitchers." French, "it's raining ropes." Chinese, "it's raining cow hairs." Portuguese, "it's raining pocket knives." Woo, I wouldn't want to be in a downpour in Portugal. Over time, idioms can change or become obsolete. Some get modern updates, like "burning the midnight oil," which once referred to oil lamps but is now expressed as "pulling an all-nighter." New idioms also emerge from technology, like ghosting, which means suddenly cutting off communication with someone. Idioms may sound silly, but they add color to language and help express emotions, humor, and wisdom succinctly. They're used in storytelling, advertising, and even business with idioms such as "think outside the box" or "hit the ground running." What's your favorite idiom? Tell us in the comments. We hope you enjoyed this video about idioms. Remember to like, subscribe, and smash that notification bell. Because there's always more to a word than meets the eye. Stay curious and keep exploring the language that shapes our world.